Mwangazi. We apologize for the late start. A security guard attached to Alaska Security Group has been hacked to death in Kamwokya, a Kampala suburb. Police preliminary investigations reveal that the assailants broke into the premises of Element Uganda Limited, a company dealing in medical equipment, and cut off the head of the security guard before robbing his gun and other property. The body was found lying in cold blood by one of the workers early this morning and has been taken to Mulago Hospital as the investigations into the murder continue.
The robbers attacked this premise of Elements Uganda Limited, and they deal in medical equipment. But what we discovered when we responded to the scene is that the robbers first hacked to death the guard. And the guard is called Wilson Mudomo. He's from Alaska. So we are still trying to establish whether this guard was armed, but according to the deployment officer, they are telling us he was armed.
Elsewhere, Finance Minister Matia Kasaija says the progress and development of Uganda lies in empowering women and equipping them with knowledge and skills. Kasaija says though so much has been done, a lot remains undone, especially the question on women owning land. This as Uganda joined the rest of Africa to commemorate the 12th Africa Peer Review Mechanism, where focus was put on women empowerment.
Happened between you and Museveni?
I was talking English and then he talked in Uganda. He said that I could not understand English. I said, better talk to in English.
Is there a possibility that President Salva Kiir will step down?
President Salva Kiir appeared in a military fatigue. There was a coup, I've beaten a coup.
I would remove the beyond reasonable doubt.
The police will be able to use any form of violence.
A foreigner has committed an offense. Does the penal code define that?
So because our constitution makes everyone, man, woman, equal before the law.
Offer to the wolves an opportunity to pick Nabila tomorrow.
If there are men out there who are being harassed, who are being abused by their wives, please come out.
I'm expecting whoever is having the keys to my office.
Let me tell you, Ugandans, don't put ice in your head. We are not an English.
Coming soon on WBS TV.
You look pretty, so pretty today.
Okay.
Oh, are you okay?
I know you haven't forgotten.
You want to break up with me?
This is for you.
Lala, he's talking nonsense. If you like Lee Hong-ming, why didn't you tell me? We're best friends.
Enough, Lala. Why are you always acting so aggressive?
Lala!
Don't run after her.
It was your pretty face. It confused me.
Did she do that?
Just get to the point.
You are hysterical. No man will ever date.
Go! You can all go! None of you are any good! No man is good!
Coming soon on WBS TV. This week on WBS TV.
Yo, come Wednesday and again. Jababia. Iron IJ Chris Christopher, aka Lion, Iron Jaja. Nzengamba, if not, why not? Luyimba kuluyimba, luyimba kuluyimba. Surprise artist Buchizimbe, hey. Catch me this Wednesday in a 1.5 solid hour of Ziki, trending Ziki, where your requests count. Hey! Live here on the hit with the hitman himself, Jaja.
This week on WBS TV.
Programu y'oddembe lyekyusiddwa olunaku n'essaawa okutandika nga 14 March. Evudde ku lwa Sunday nedda ku lw'omukaaga essaawa 8 ogw'emisana okoma ku 9. Tosubwa programu y'oddembe lyo buli lwa mukaaga essaawa 8 paka 9 nga tusengejja ebiri mu ggwanga ku by'obufuzi, ebyenfuna, ebyembeere za bulijjo, ebyenkulaakulana, byonna omwo nange Drake Sekeba ku WBS television kwokka.
Yamina always sleeps with Ignacio, always!
Yamina, what she
Ignacio! Ignacio!
Yeah, that you can touch. Told you how I feel. If you want to punch, you want a piece of me? Do it! Hey, or should I?
Innocente Castillo is me. Don't insult me. Because the one who's immortal is you. You him up your son. Castillo.
Please don't tell me that it's... It is!
Criteria is a plural noun in English. What is the singular?
Criteria.
On which exact date was the Uganda national flag first officially adopted?
On 9 October 1962.
Who is the current Secretary General of the UN General Assembly?
Ban Ki-moon.
A lactometer measures the density of which substance?
Milk.
What is the color of the disc right in the middle of the Uganda national flag?
White.
In which country was ice cream invented?
Iceland.
Wrong. Answer China.
We take news very seriously. With hundreds of camera crews and journalists across the region.
A group of drivers are still flocking this
Very many on the streets.
tried to snatch his number plate that had been removed.
Beyond the horizon,
National water and sewage pipes and the entire system collapsing.
news is action at WBS TV.
This eviction has been very peaceful.
More resources to cover breaking news first.
Since this is where the crime was committed.
If it is happening now, then it is on WBS TV News.
We have to do something. Game's over.
Aha! Step on it!
Got the 9:15 slot at the Comedy Hut.
Lasagna!
Hey, I said stay right there.
Mister, please, we just need a few more minutes to look around.
I'll need those back when you're done.
Welcome back to WBS Afternoon Edition. We apologize for that road interruption caused by some technical difficulties. Reverting to our previous story, Finance Minister Matia Kasaija says that the progress and development of Uganda lies in empowering women and equipping them with knowledge and skills. Kasaija says though so much has been done, a lot remains to be done, especially the question of women owning land. This as Uganda joined the rest of Africa to commemorate the 12th Africa Peer Review Mechanism, where focus was put on women empowerment.
Our APRM process is now a model across the continent, particularly in regard to integrating the outcomes of the self-assessment into the development planning process from implementation.
Recognizes that no society can reach its full potential unless it empowers women and removes all obstacles to women's full participation in all areas of human endeavor. The APRM reviews are in conformity with that sentiment, and the African Peer Review Panel of eminent persons have urged that women be empowered in all areas, including the public, private, and civil society spheres.
Now, the Minister of Trade and Industry, Amelia Chambade, wants government to put more emphasis on improving agricultural production when empowering farmers. Chambade says farmers in Uganda have failed to penetrate competitive agricultural productivity due to the low attention given to the sector by government.
Who was on her monthly monitoring tour of farmers and agriculturists to establish how much they benefit from government programs geared at alleviating poverty. Chambade was in the company of officials from the production and cooperative society, identified various challenges farmers face that hinder production. She noted that they only need training on how they can transform the raw materials to better production. Here, production in the villages is still poor and low as compared to that on the world market, but maintained that this can only be achieved when sensitization to farmers is given much attention.
Gavumenti etukubiriza twongereko omutindo kyova olaba ntituleeta ebyuma nga bino okulaba ntwongera omutindo ku kifo ky'okutunda empeke kasooli ow'empeke osobole okuba nti otunda buwunga.
During the tour, farmers walked with the minister to their newly established maize milling plant in Bubezi village, which she commissioned, but assured them of government's commitment to distribute electricity to most villages in PG and a rural electrification program in order to boost value addition to farmers' produce.
Batukolera line emwemu buli gombolola ate tudde buzzi bwe tuti era PS yankakasizza nti omwaka guno nga tegunnaggwako ajja kubanga asembudde ng'amagombola line emwemu gye namusaba azikutteko.
The officials assured the farmers of better production if they saw cause and need for total commitment to engage in competitive agricultural productivity.
Omutindo kitandikira ddala nga osalawo ky'onaalima era n'akatale bw'ekitubi kiri oyagala kutunda ki ani anaakigula sooka onoonya anaakigula awo otandike okulaba nti olima ekyo okubeera n'ensawo ezo ennene zokka tutunuulire n'omulyono ssekinnoomu ne restaurant zaffe tuzimanyi tesobola kutwala nsawo za kawunga 50 naye bwe ziba 2 3 ezo zisobola okukola ki okugenda kati emisomo egyo tujja kugireeta ekirungi nti gyonna egisinga giri mu ministry.
The farmers reported to the minister government's failure to control fake fertilizers and pesticide on the market that has caused adverse effect to agricultural production.
The latest weather forecast report released by the Department of Meteorology in the Ministry of Water and Environment indicates an onset of rains in various parts of the country. The period March to May constitutes the first major rainfall season in Uganda this year. However, the ministry warns of the possibility of floods and disease. We shall be bringing you details of that story in our other subsequent bulletins. Troops from Chad and Niger have taken 2 northeastern Nigerian towns after bloody fighting that has left some 200 Boko Haram fighters dead, a Chadian security source has confirmed. Boko Haram had held these cities, the towns of Malam, Faturi and Damask, near the Niger border since November. 10 Chadian soldiers were killed in the offensive that began on Sunday.
The recapture of Damasak is a huge victory for regional forces, especially Chad and Niger, countries Boko Haram recently targeted. So far, the coalition forces have reclaimed more than 30 towns and villages from the Boko Haram. And Nigeria, which was unable to crush Boko Haram for the past 5 years, says it now has the hardware for a military victory.
Our government has taken the steps long enough to ensure that the equipment arrive at this moment. If it had delayed, as at the time it did, take the decision, we would still be facing even more crucial challenges. So as a result of the proactive nature of the approach, we now are having the equipment at this time.
The military asked in February for 6 weeks to clear the northeast of Boko Haram fighters for elections to be held. But the coordinated offensive against Boko Haram has forced the group to resort to the old tactic of suicide bombing. Over the weekend, attacks in the city of Maiduguri killed more than 50 and injured another 100. The group's leader has also pledged allegiance to ISIL, and this is causing serious concern in the region, especially in Nigeria.
Every citizen of Nigeria wants a peaceful country, and to that extent, yes. But to the extent that my country will be taken over by insurgents and a group of people of the nature that we are talking about, I am not worried. We have a good armed forces that can do the job.
Many here want a quick victory before groups like ISIL come in. On Friday, the African Union endorsed the creation of a regional force of more than 8,000 troops to combat Boko Haram. This is expected to strengthen the effort of the multinational task force already taking on Boko Haram.
Ivory Coast's former First Lady Simone Gbagbo has been sentenced to 20 years in jail for her role in the violence that followed 2010 elections. Gbagbo, aged 65, had been charged with undermining state security. Her husband, former Ivorian President Laurent Gbagbo, is awaiting trial at the International Criminal Court. More than 3,000 people died in the violence that followed the presidential poll after the ex-leader refused to accept defeat to Alassane Ouattara. She and her husband were arrested in 2011 after troops stormed a bunker where the pair had taken refuge in the main city, Abidjan. Thank you so much for joining us this lovely afternoon. We won't be bringing you sports in WBS Afternoon Edition, but do stay tuned, and CKM Izenya will give you all of the sporting action. I am Anita Mwangazi. Good afternoon.
Thank you.